What this indicates?
Your passwordless login.
Exactly. So SSH root at manager. SSH root at data node 2, data node 3. So able to do with all the things. All got started. None of these has got any UI. This doesn't have UI at all. So what is the first thing that needs to be done in this process? What is the first thing that needs to be done in this process? We discussed about the setup aspect, the manual mode. Now we are trying to talk something about the automated mode. So what is the first thing that needs to be done in this process?
We need to have CentOS operating system.
No, it's already there, right?
Setting up the firewall and SE Linux.
Yeah, we need to make sure that your firewall is off and your SC Linux is disabled.
And make sure that timestamp is same in all that.
Perfect. That is, Sunil, that is the reason why I asked. I mean, not the aspects physically. Now, what are the, oh, the device battery is low.
Hey, Sri, just a housekeeping. Can you have somebody post the recorded session of the last class?
It's already done, right? No?
No.
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 Oh my God. Because the immediately after finishing, I have updated them. I'll find it out, Arun. I'll find it out. Because to my knowledge, I immediately have sent it.
Yeah, session 9 is not updated in the
I'll ask
blog.
Sunil to look into that. If not, I'll do immediately after the session. No problem. So, as been mentioned, the CentOS part that is done. All these boxes. IP is assigned. And what is the next thing along with the IP address? Host name also. And what is the third thing?
Need to decide the daemons to be set up.
Yeah, what daemons need to be need to decide what daemons we have already made up our mind. What is that? We have the master here, and on that we want to set up our name node and resource manager. Probably on your one of the data node will be having the secondary name node and other things. Your node manager and your data node on the slaves. Right? I have already shown you the diagram also related to that one in the last session. How the daemons need to be distributed across. What is the next thing? IP tables. Next thing, AC Linux, and your date needs to be
Date and
set.
time.
Yeah. Next thing,
Uh, Passwordless setup.
yeah,
SSH.
passwordless. So you look closely into all these things. I think all are there here. Let's have a look at this one. Only for the clarity, 192, 168, 159.1, the primary DNS. The host name is hope you see here. 192, 168, 159.44 is a static IP. Default gateway IP is that. You noticed here IP tables and IP6 tables. They're not there here. I think with this you understand. And passwordless part we have noticed. Make sense? After doing all these things, what is the next step now? What is the next step now? What is the next step, friends?
You want to run the installer, right? That I am.
We need to first set up a Cloudera manager. We need to set up the Cloudera manager. Through this Cloudera manager only, we'll be doing all the other things. We need to set up the Cloudera manager now. Through the Cloudera manager only, we will be doing all the other things. So you see this one closely. Your Cloudera manager supported operating systems, supported JDK, supported browsers. That anyhow we need not worry much. Supported databases. Supported databases. That is actually Derby. MariaDB is nothing but your Derby. MySQL, Oracle, Postgres. Okay. MySQL, Oracle, and Postgres. Now I ask you a question here. Do we need to set up this database before and start working with the Cloudera manager? How we do that?
I think we can do after Cloudera manager is set up.
But Cloudera
No,
manager
I think you'll have to install it, right? I mean, before it uses all the metadata and everything inside these databases, correct?
yeah, you're right. So that is where I'm asking you, do we need to set up this database now and then we need to think about setting up a Cloudera manager? How? What we do?
I would say we need to set up those databases, or that databases are set up as part of the Cloudera manager install. I don't know how that works, but the databases should be set up.
Right? So this out of the supported database, whatever been mentioned here, you decide which you want to set up. You don't want to set up anything, assume. Then by default, along with your CDH, Postgres will be installed. But if you want your metastore that needs to be preserved, you on the cluster, somewhere on the host, whatever the host, but you need to have all the thing in place. That you will not be doing anyhow. As a Hadoop admin, you will not be setting up your database. But here in this case, as we need to demonstrate, we are saying that this also going to be set up by us. But truly speaking, database is already been set up somewhere on the cluster. We need to presume that, and from there we need to drive it. Have a look at this one. So these are the different port numbers on which your respective roles. I'm not, or you call it to be, because why I'm not calling service. Service, if I call, entire daemon set will come into picture. That is why I'm not calling service, I'm calling it as a role. So Cloudera manager is going to be on 7182. Your HBase master, name node 50470, secondary name node 50495, Hive server, Hue, Uzi, Solar, all these are going to be on this port. Now I think you are able to understand clearly why we need to make, because apart from this, the other, your Spark history server and all, if those are also need to be set up. We may need the additional ports also, but we don't know. So not to happen any blockage and all, we are going to off the firewall so that there will not be any conflict in terms of your port opening or something like for the services which are working in the background or internally to your cluster. So not to happen, we have already done that, disabled that. So this is just for the sake of information, what is the role and what the port number on which by default this is going to run. But you wish, you can make your role to run on a different machine with a different port number. That is possible. So coming to the resource requirements for what? Whatever I am talking now is all in the context of resource, your Cloudera manager only. I'm not talking the cluster here anymore. I'm only talking about Cloudera manager. The Cloudera manager server, how much physical memory is needed? You can see that here, 5 GB on partition hosting, that is /var, 5 GB, and 500 MB on the partition hosting, USR. So those minimum things in here will be there. You can see that. Manager server. In the local parcel repository on the Cloudera Manager server, the approximate sizes of various parcels as follows. What do you mean by this parcel? Any idea? Any idea, friends? Parcel. Or did you came across this term called parcel anywhere while you are going through the documentation or reading the documentation? Or package at least?
Yeah, we heard package.
Okay.
It is nothing but a set of all installables and supporting files and libraries.
Perfect. That is called package. Yeah. Parcel?
No idea.
Okay. No issue. So we will discuss about these two. But one thing we need to understand, your setup, you cannot install software using both parcels and packages in the same cluster. You cannot install software using both parcels and packages in the same cluster. So what is that and all we see physically, don't worry for that one. But this is just to make you to understand. We will talk about package and parcel, don't worry. RAM, Python, Perl, oh, fine. Have a look at this one. Users and groups. You notice this one any time in the past? You notice this one any time in the past?
Yes, Srinivas, I mean, with respect to Windows, we heard, I mean, users and local groups.
Yeah, no.
No, even in Unix, you have the users associated with a group, others.
Yes. Now, in the context of Hadoop, we already discussed this one. You recollect when we have discussed that one? When we are going to set up your CDH or your services, or you call them as daemons, whatever. If you correctly recollect, I have changed to HDFS user on my sudo cluster. Sudo su HDFS I said. Then I was able to move to my HDFS user. You remember?
Yes.
So that is the user being created, and that user belongs to some group. So when you set up your entire cluster with the default aspects and all, you will be seeing these are users and groups. You'll have a Flume user and a Flume group, HDFS user and HDFS group. Hive, like that only here, all this. We'll be seeing that one, don't worry. Right? Have a look at this one, these two. Let us not have the differences between these two so precisely at this stage. Once we start working with the cluster, Then we can revisit this one, package and parcel. One common thing that you notice between both, package is a binary distribution, parcel is also binary distribution. And you see here, is a binary distribution format containing the program files along with the additional metadata used by the Cloudera manager. These are some of the notable differences that you can differentiate these two things, package and a parcel. Okay. Now, time to connect to, hope everything is clear, friends. Hadoop cluster, and probably here, what is that? 39 only, yes, 39 only, yeah. I am connecting to that one, friends, here. I am connecting to that one. I have downloaded the small binary file. I have downloaded the small binary file. This is a file, cloudera-manager-installer.bin. Cloudera-manager-installer.bin. This is a file that is being. So even during installation, I advise, because as you will not be doing it all these things, I want these steps to be carefully understood by you before I move to the next one. I don't want to just say next and all, so done. That is not a criteria now. See this clearly when we are trying to set up this Cloudera manager. Are you comfortable with this, whatever mentioned? Any questions on this one, friends? Now moving. I want clarity from every one of your end, friends, before I move on to the next one. What is your comfort zone with all what we discussed in the last session and trying to do it in the today's session?
So far, good from my side, Srini.
Yeah, wonderful. So, one second. I don't know. Okay. Cloudera Manager installer enables you to install Cloudera Manager and bootstrap an entire CDH cluster, requiring only that you have SSH access to your cluster machines and that those machines have internet access. I think you are pretty clear with this one. The Cloudera Manager, forget about the point in between, no issue for that. The Cloudera Manager installer will automatically, this is one way that, Cloudera people compel us to go with the enterprise part and all, but leave it, that's not an issue here. The Cloudera Manager installer will automatically detect the operating system on the Cloudera Manager host. Please. I don't mind. If you want, you can note it down, this one. No issue for this. And you want, I can also take the screenshots of these things. No issue at all. Whatever is best for you.
Hey, Srini, are you showing something? Because I see only your black screen, the notepad.
Yeah, I was supposed to ask the same thing. Like we just see the black screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I even refreshed my browser. I thought like something with my browser.
Oh, really? But this is in the sharing only. Interesting. Give a minute, friends. But this is in the sharing only. Why interesting? Please let me know once you start seeing my screen. Why it is not allowing me to? Yeah. Now I'm able to see?
No, now I'm seeing your home screen. It says Hadoop admin session 11.
Yeah, we
I'm
lost the
waiting
sharing
to.
completely.
Okay.